Hello everyone, today is 24th of March, now it's 20 past 9 in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan and this is my first update for the day in which I will share all the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. Later on today, this evening 9 o'clock Moscow time, I will have a traditional Sunday live stream during which I will share with you, of course, all the additional news that will be reported by Russian media and Russian channels on different platforms. I hope you will find time to join the conversation. As always, I will share with you latest news and then I will be actively engaged with the chat and we can have exchange of opinions in real time. That's been said, let's talk about news now. And first of all, I will share with you information about statements that Russian president made yesterday while addressing this horrible tragedy that happened because of the terrorist attack on Crocus City Hall day earlier. First of all, Putin stated that 24th of March today will be declared the day of mourning all around the country. Putin also stated that all the participants in this terrorist attack and everyone who was connected in any ways with this terrorist attack will be brought to justice. He shared with public information that 11 suspects are arrested, under arrest, including 4 individuals that were directly involved in shooting in the Crocus City Hall. Yesterday during the day I was sharing on my Telegram channel some videos, some latest news on search operation for those terrorists, and they have been detained there. I reported about it yesterday. While they were very close to Ukrainian border, they almost managed to cross it, and Putin himself stated that window was waiting for them on the border, and Ukrainian side was providing them with the safe passage through the border. Of course, he knows much more than is publicly available now when it comes to information. And well, let's wait. Some people may probably was waiting some extremely strong statements, maybe even decisions or announcements about upcoming decisions from Putin, but this is not how Russia is operating. It's only like some other countries, like generally in the West, when investigation have not even begun or in the process, when high-ranking officials are making statements and giving their final opinions if they know something, while they don't know because investigation have not yet been finished. In Russia, things are done differently. I believe Putin will wait until investigation will be finished, and when all the facts, all the factual information, evidences are analyzed, only then I believe some decisions will be made by Russian president, maybe even very strong decisions in regards to everyone who was directly connected, directly, indirectly, in any ways connected with this terrorist attack on Russia and Russian citizens. In Ukraine, probably many of you noticed that yesterday rumors began circulating in Ukrainian segment of internet, Telegram, for example, that US diplomatic mission in Ukraine giving warnings to Ukraine's leadership that because of their terrorist activity of Kiev regime on Russian soil, agreement that allegedly was in place between Russian president and former prime minister of Israel, between Russian president and the leadership of Western countries about safety of political leadership political and military leadership of Kiev regime, that agreement can no longer be seen as a valid, because Moscow may change its attitude towards leadership of this terrorist neo-Nazi murderous regime in Kiev. But yet again, this is rumors, by the way, that are circulating in Ukrainian segment of internet. We cannot know for sure, but well, who knows? It is possible that Russian approach may change, and we might see sometime in the future, in upcoming weeks, for example, that Ukraine's military intelligence or main intelligence directorate of defense ministry will be designated as a terrorist organization. Maybe Ukraine's defense ministry will be designated as a terrorist organization, or Ukraine's SBU, State Security Service. Maybe political leadership will be designated as a terrorists, also as a leaders of those terrorist organizations. Who knows? Let's wait. But according to rumors that are circulating in Ukrainian segment of internet, there are some panic mode now. Ukrainian leadership is in panic mode because they don't know who will be targeted first by Russian side because of their involvement in terrorist activity on Russian soil. Hard to comment on this issue because we don't know decision-making process in Kremlin. Let's wait and see. I believe when investigation will be finished, probably Kremlin will make announcements on further steps towards in regards to Ukraine. And RT's report that according to FSB, and Putin himself also spoke about it, 11 suspects are detained, among them individuals that were participating directly in shooting in the Crocus city hall. Probably many of you see videos of detained terrorists. RIA Novosti is reporting that investigative committee of Russian Federation shared with public latest information on casualty numbers, and according to investigative committee, 133 people were killed as a result of this terrorist attack, and more than 150 people are under medical care right now, many of them in very serious conditions, and of course medics are doing their best to save their lives. Plenteru is reporting that Maria Zakharova made a statement in regards to Ukraine and possible Ukrainian involvement in this terrorist attack. And she said that Ukraine long become a area from which terrorism is spreading. And this is absolutely true, by the way. Kiev regime is directly involved in terrorist activity. Ukraine's so-called secret services are conducting terrorist attacks on Russian soil, and not just on Russian soil, by the way. I remind you, if I may, that just recently there was an attempt to kill Ukrainian politician, blogger and journalist in exile in Spain, Anatoly Shary. There was a terrorist activity of Kiev regime in Moldova when people were kidnapped from Moldova. So Kiev regime is actively involved in terrorist activity for many years now, and not just against Russia or on Russian soil. So Maria Zakharova is absolutely correct, and many of you probably already know that, or even see those videos and photos that are circulating on internet with these terrorists that were fighting against Iraqi and Syrian governments, and now and used to be part of IS terrorist group, and now are operating in Ukraine. So what other confirmation is necessary to realize that yes, Ukraine, modern Ukraine under leadership of Zelensky and his criminal associates, or under direct control of Washington and London has become a terrorist state, because it is the truth. Ukraine is a terrorist state right now, and this failed state under the name of Ukraine is led by terrorists and mass murderers, neo-Nazis, horrible individuals. RIA Novosti is reporting that Russian armed forces liberated Krasnoe, established full control over the Krasnoe, which is Ivanovskoe, on Chisov Yar direction, right next to Bakhmut. Of course, many of us were expecting that this settlement will become under full Russian control in fairly short time. I reported about it, and well, it's official now. It's official now. Sorry, let me find because of this coloring on the map. But maybe I have some issues with colors. I don't know, man. But sometimes I find it difficult to orient to orient on this map. This is Krasnoe, by the way. This is Krasnoe. This is Bakhmut or Artyomovsk. This is Chisov Yar here, this town, and this is Krasnoe village, quite a significant, used to be quite significant stronghold for Ukrainian armed forces, and now entire this area is under full Russian control. According to Russian Defense Ministry, this information confirmed by Defense Ministry, and now question is in which direction Russian armed forces will continue offensive operations, in direction of Chisov Yar, or maybe in direction of Konstantinovka, this city here, and if in direction of Konstantinovka, of course, that will allow Russian forces to flank Chisov Yar and establish operational encirclement at some point around Chisov Yar, but maybe Russian forces will start offensive operations towards Chisov Yar itself. It's becoming obvious that Ukrainian defense lines are collapsing. Ukrainian defense lines are collapsing. Kyiv regime forces are no longer capable to hold on to their defense lines for a long time under increased Russian pressure. We see this in Bakhmut direction, in Chisov Yar direction. We see this in Avdiivka direction, where just recently, a few days ago, I reported that these settlements of Toninkaya, Orlovka become under full Russian control, and Berdichi, by the way, Berdichi settlement most likely in next several days will also become under full Russian control. Right now, Russian forces are conducting offensive operations in direction of Semyonovka, this village in between Orlovka and Berdichi. And once Russian forces will establish control over the Semyonovka, Ukrainian units will not have any options but to withdraw. Otherwise, they will be encircled and neutralized, of course. Maybe Ukrainian forces will withdraw even before Russian side establishes full control over the Semyonovka settlements here. So, point that I want to make is that Ukrainian defense lines are clearly collapsing on several areas where we see significant increase of Russian pressure, and therefore, I mean, one may say that we have first indicators what will come in next several months, which is full-scale collapse of Ukrainian forces when Kyiv's regime will no longer have armed forces that are more or less battle-capable entity. Let's see, several units in Kyiv, in hands of Kyiv regime, may still be battle-capable, but in general, Ukrainian armed forces are definitely losing their battle capabilities, let's say this way. And also, before I continue, let me share with you information that during the last night, Russian armed forces, according to a number of reports, Russian armed forces conducted yet another wave of missile and drone strikes on military and logistics infrastructure of Kiev regime, and explosions were heard in Lvov, Sumy, Kharkov, Volyn, Kiev, Kryvyi Rog regions. And what is also important, that seems like, according to reports that I see, one of the main directions during these strikes previous night was Lvov area, Lvov region. During the day, probably Russian Defense Ministry will share with us information what exactly was targeted in the western Ukraine. I would not be surprised at all to hear that maybe some training grounds were targeted, airfields, and the training grounds were foreign mercenaries, or let's say NATO troops disguised as a foreign mercenaries were conducting training operations, training of the forcibly mobilized citizens of Ukraine. Let's continue with the additional news. And yes, as I said, the TASS news agency is also reporting that explosions were heard in many different regions of Kiev-controlled territory in Ukraine during the previous night, early hours this morning, including in Kiev itself. But yet again, main direction of those strikes, missile strikes, was Lvov area, according to informations that I see on different channels. RT is reporting that yesterday evening, by the way, Ukraine fired barrage of missiles at Crimea, according to governor. And what is known for now is that at least 10 missiles were shot down by Russian air defense systems, unfortunately. And main target for Kiev regime was Sevastopol city. And at least 10 missiles were shot down, but unfortunately at least 1 or 2 missiles managed to avoid interception and targeted Sevastopol. Governor shared information that one person was killed, several people were wounded as a result of this strike. During the day, probably we will learn some more information about this, and of course I will share additional information on my Telegram or during the live stream today evening, 9 o'clock Moscow time. And simultaneously, Kiev regime was actively targeting Belgorod region, and according to Defense Ministry, 19 missiles were shot down over the Belgorod region during their late evening assault that Kiev regime conducted on Belgorod direction, mainly with the MLRS missile systems, multi-launch rocket systems. A few more news. Also, RIA Novosti is reporting that according to British Royal Navy, there was another incident not far away from coast of Yemen. Another commercial ship was targeted by Ansar Allah movement or Houthi rebels. No detailed information, but yet again, Houthi rebels don't really need to hit commercial vessels as long as they are demonstrating that these maritime routes are not safe. That's enough for vast majority of shipping companies to avoid that area entirely, and that's what exactly is happening. Just a few days ago, I reported that, for example, Suez Channel, which connects, of course, Red Sea and Mediterranean, lost at least 50% of customers. So 50% less commercial vessels are using Suez Channel. And finally, I will share with you information that yesterday Soyuz MS-25 Soyuz 2-1A missile rocket was launched by Russia from Baikonur Cosmodrome, And Soyuz MS-25 spaceship will with a crew of Russian, Belarusian, and US cosmonauts. Of course, US calls cosmonauts astronauts. There are three people on the board, three cosmonauts, Russian citizen, Belarusian citizen, and US citizen, and they will maybe for this moment they already docked with the International Space Station. And of course, right now it's only Russia and US that are conducting these launches with the of spacecrafts towards International Space Station with a crew on the board. Recently, for almost a decade, it was only Russia that was basically launching cosmonauts, Russians, US cosmonauts or astronauts. Entire crew on space station usually was launched from by Russian rockets, with Russian rockets, but now SpaceX joined this field, and they are also launching spaceships that are able to carry cosmonauts on board. And this is it for now. This is it for now. Quite short update. Hopefully you will find it informative and useful. And if so, please click that like button, leave some commentary just about anything, any topic. More likes and comments will help to deal with the algorithms on both platforms, on Rumble, on YouTube, to reach wider audience. And for very same reason, if you can, please share links to my videos or my channels with your friends on any of the platforms that you are actively using. And finally, if you think this channel is interesting, informative, useful, and deserves to exist in this field of news and political commentary, please consider to support my work with small donations through PayPal, Boosty, or by subscribing to my Patreon page. You can see all the links in the description box under this video and in the pinned comment. This is it for now. Have a great day and take care. Before I go, let me remind you once again that 9 o'clock this evening I will have live stream on YouTube, by the way, on main YouTube channel. 9 o'clock this evening Moscow time. So yes, that's it for now. Take care.